Today I'm here to shed light on a deeply concerning matter involving a YouTuber who goes by the name Pholcidae. This creator, in pursuit of information to make a clearly slanderous video targeting my friend, SergeantSnake, engaged in highly unethical behavior, namely, stalking and interacting with minors on Discord to extract private details. Let me be clear. The video in question was not only thoroughly debunked with solid evidence, but Pholcidae himself admitted in a now-deleted comment that he knew it was slanderous. Fortunately, one of SergeantSnake's supporters preserved an email copy of that very comment, exposing the truth, that Pholcidae was fully aware the content was false. And yet, instead of walking away from the lie, he doubled down, and worse, crossed serious moral and legal boundaries to do it. What's even more disturbing is how far Pholcidae was willing to go to carry out this obsession. Initially, he focused his efforts directly on stalking SergeantSnake, repeatedly contacting him, monitoring his activity, and pushing for reactions, even after Sergeant made it clear the attention was unwanted. Following a wave of harassment, SergeantSnake made the completely justified decision to block Pholcidae. But instead of stopping, Pholcidae escalated. He began creating multiple alternate accounts, most of which were blatantly obvious, often including the name Phol or Pholcidae, in a clear attempt to bypass the block and continue the harassment. This was not only invasive, but incredibly disturbing, especially given the age difference between the two. Pholcidae is an adult over the age of 18, while SergeantSnake is only 14 years old. Despite knowing this, Pholcidae continued to engage, going so far as to direct personal insults toward another minor during this pursuit. Only after crossing that final line, verbally attacking a young person, did he seemingly back off. But by that point, the damage was already done. The repeated stalking, evasion of boundaries, and aggressive behavior painted a picture of someone entirely unconcerned with ethics, legality, or basic decency. But even after stalking and harassing SergeantSnake directly, Pholcidae decided that wasn't enough. Instead of backing off, he widened his focus and began targeting Sergeant's supporters, including me, in an effort to continue his obsessive pursuit. He repeatedly attempted to contact multiple fans, many of whom are minors, with two clear intentions. Option A, to manipulate and gaslight us into giving him information that could help justify or support his slanderous video, or Option B, to harass us outright with aggressive messages and profanity once it became clear we weren't falling for it. These weren't isolated incidents or misunderstandings. Over time, the pattern was undeniable. The conversations turned into pure harassment. What's worse is that this wasn't accidental. Pholcidae was fully aware that the majority of Sergeant's audience consists of minors, and yet he still chose to stalk, provoke, and intimidate us. At this point, it can't be passed off as anything less than targeted stalking of minors, driven by a desire to fuel a false narrative he already knew was a lie. In summary, Pholcidae initially attempted to contact SergeantSnake under the guise of gathering information for a video he knew was fake and slanderous. When Sergeant, rightfully feeling harassed, blocked him, Pholcidae created multiple alternate accounts to continue the stalking. After being shut out repeatedly, he shifted his focus to Sergeant's fanbase, many of whom are minors, targeting anyone with a Discord account. At first, he tried gaslighting them into providing evidence to support his false narrative. But when that failed, he resorted to direct harassment, sending aggressive and profane messages in an attempt to intimidate them. This wasn't just drama. It was a calculated, sustained pattern of stalking and harassment, directed primarily at minors by an adult who knew exactly what he was doing. Let's be absolutely clear. What Pholcidae did isn't just unethical. It's illegal in nearly every country. Stalking, especially when it involves repeated unwanted contact with minors, crosses serious legal lines. Harassment, the creation of multiple accounts to bypass blocks, And the targeting of underage individuals for manipulation or abuse are criminal behaviors that can carry real consequences. Beyond the law, this kind of behavior is morally repugnant. It violates every basic principle of decency, empathy, and respect. And for those who hold religious or spiritual values, regardless of the faith, there's no world in which this conduct is justifiable. Exploiting power over younger individuals, spreading lies, and intentionally causing harm is universally condemned across religious and ethical systems. So let this be a wake-up call. Behavior like this should never be normalized, ignored, or dismissed. It's dangerous, it's predatory, and it's wrong. Thank you for listening, and please stay aware, stay safe, and stand up for each other when it matters most.